Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody?
What is
Good
up?
morning.
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Nothing much. Dr. Marv's supposed to be on here with us today, so we will
Awesome.
we'll see if he makes it in. And I did the live Q&A yesterday. I like doing recorded ones better because I can take my time, and like if I flub up, I can edit things and I can research stuff. But it is weird doing the live by myself. There's a lot of multitasking going on. I don't know how Steve does it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'm sitting there trying to filter questions and ban people that are assholes. I'm going to give Josh is always on, so I'm going to give him the ban hammer. And Steve's like, you got to give Josh the ban hammer. So, and Josh, you're going to get the ban hammer. So,
I think it's good, especially coming on right after Steve. It's and you're good off the cuff. Yeah, it's good improv.
Sometimes I wonder if I am or not, because it's like I feel it's almost like it's like a deer in the headlights. I was a music major in college for my first go around, and it's almost like performing music. You almost like have this out of body state where you get in like this flow state you get into where you're just on muscle memory, basically. But yeah, this is a little easier because it's having a conversation with your friends. This flows a lot easier to do. Man, I've seen more fake testosterone this week. I did 2 more consult calls with fake test. It is out there and in full force.
Oh boy.
I wonder what the profit margin is to, or the I guess if Ryan were here, Ryan would probably tell us. But how does it benefit anybody? I mean,
well, I think what is probably happening is there was a batch of bad raws that came out of China.
Right. That did happen a couple years ago with the Nanthates.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking happened. And then none of these, do you think any of these guys making testosterone in their trailer selling it online are actually testing the raws before they make it?
Yeah.
Always people get offended when I say, hey, yeah, man, there's a lot of fake tests running around. You might want to double check, and they're like, my UGL is great. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sure. You've got the one. I literally talked to 2 IFBB pros this week with fake testosterone.
Yeah, John Jewett did a video on it. He was like, I got fake tests on the way to the Olympia. Great.
2 of them. Two pros. And these are the guys that are connected.
Jackie got lucky. She just got her results back for Primo, and it was Primo. So that was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Primo you can get. Yeah. So I just I used to not have people get testosterone tests because I thought it was just kind of a waste of time. Like, yeah, we know your test levels are going to be high.
Over 1,500, right? And,
yeah, like once you get past 1,500, I mean, what's the difference between 3,000 and 2,500? I don't fucking know. It's all the same. Yeah, 500.
At that point, it's bragging rights. That's all it is.
It's all the same past that point.
Chase looked great on 5K and whatever 18 I use. I'll be honest.
Well, Chase proved that you can get huge on the test and GH only cycle. I think he proved that to be true. But yeah, man, now I'm like, man, everybody should probably get a testosterone levels checked. I had one guy was not feeling good, and we got his test levels checked, and they were in the 300s, and he was on a gram of test, and I'm like, well, that math don't add up.
Wow.
Is that how you figured out? You saw his blood work, or was he getting negative?
I've seen multiple blood works where guys are on cycle with low test T levels.
Yeah,
because that's what I do. I mean, I do these consults, and most of these consults are blood work consults, and guys come to me with their testosterone and their IGF-1 levels, and then I'm looking and I'm like, and it's like he's like, why do you think my test levels are so low? And I'm like, because your fucking testosterone isn't real.
Man.
Or it's like 10 milligrams a milliliter or some shit.
It's like $1 10 pounds of testosterone.
Yeah, I mean, Occam's razor, right? I mean, the most likely simplest answer is usually the right one.
If you're injecting testosterone, you should have testosterone in your system.
Yeah,
It's got to be fake raws coming from China.
Yeah. I can see it.
yeah.
Rock.
But that's wild seeing that. I'm also, like I talked about at the beginning of the Q&A yesterday. Now I'm getting a lot more data on people running EQ long term, and I'll be honest with you, man. I'm a little concerned about EQ after seeing a year worth of people running it. I've seen some shit not right with people on EQ.
But is it possible that since a lot of what we do is kind of polypharmacy, right? Is there do you have aggregated data you feel, or are you seeing trends that are really obvious, like across the board?
Oh no, obvious with things with people running EQ that I have not seen with other stuff. Like, and I see trends across all the people that are running EQ. Like I've seen really high hemoglobin and hematocrit levels. I've seen some guys with elevation in cystatin C, and creatinine on EQ. I've seen guys with absolute. It doesn't seem like I originally was like telling people to run it at half your test to keep your estrogen in line, but that seems to be like too much at this point. Like I've seen guys absolutely wrecking their testosterone levels, or their estrogen levels with with EQ. Like I'm talking about like single digit estrogen levels on EQ.
And then for inflammation tests, HSCRP, cystatin C, LDH, is there anything else you guys think you should look at when you're doing if you're trying to do EQ?
No, everybody that runs gear seems like, if you're, especially, I've noticed this with the dudes doing daily injections, they all seem to get some elevation in CRP. And that's a trade-off with doing the daily injections that I never considered before, because you're probably having some sort of inflammatory response to all those frequent injections.
Right. And it's daily.
Yeah, and it's daily. So that, I mean, I think that is a potential downside for the daily microdosing that people didn't consider. It's probably just a reaction to the oils and the solvents and shit. But I don't know if there's a correlation there or not, but I have definitely noticed that there's like some mild elevation of CRP when dudes are blasting hard. It just seems to be across the board for the and then when you go back down to cruise or once or twice a week injections, and it comes back down to baseline. So it doesn't seem like anything chronic.
Studies are rat and rabbit, but it still seems like some pretty strong evidence that it's directly nephrotoxic.
Yeah, with EQ. Now the question is whether or not it's permanent or whether it's chronic or acute. It seems like it comes back in line after you come off. I see the same thing with trend. Trend seems to, in some people, seems to elevate cystatin C and creatinine, and then you come off and it comes back to baseline. But I would imagine after you are beating your kidneys up like that over and over and over again, that you're going to end up with problems long term. And you look at a lot of the guys from like EQ, and Anadrol were kind of the go-to in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that was the piano stack he talked about. It was like my biggest stack ever: 2 grams of test, 600 EQ, 600 and 300 Anadrol injectable.
Yeah, and a lot of those dudes ended up with kidney issues, major kidney issues, or dead. Yeah.
Love Rich Piana, but
yeah, it was a combination of cocaine, EQ, and PMMA that killed Rich Piana.
Yeah. He said he wanted to have a fun life. He definitely had a fun life.
Live hard, die young.
Yeah, that Bolivian marching powder will get you every time.
Especially as you get, you're 300 pounds in your late 40s. I mean, he just basically did everything he possibly could to not live long.
It's like taking all the dials and just going 11, 11, 11, 11.
You can only crank it up so hard on so many different factors before it catches up with you. Like you can get away with. You can get away, like it just depends. You can get away with a lot, but like you do need to take breaks. You do need to be measured, and that's what I tell people. Like what is it? The axiom in toxicology? It's dose, duration, and compound that make the poison, right? So like you take anything long enough at a high enough dose, it can be toxic, right? Or you can take a lethal dose of certain things. You know, there's some things that are more benign, like you could go out, and I'm not telling anybody to go do that today, but you could go shoot a whole bottle of testosterone today, and you'd be fine. You'd probably have a boner for the next week, but
You say that like that's a bad
benefit,
thing.
dog. Hang on.
but if you
Yeah,
if you
he knows.
if you took a whole pen of Humalog today, you might be done.
That might be it.
Rich Piana is one of the ones that really made me start paying attention because he died at 46, and him and I are like almost exactly the same age. Like our birthdays are within 10 days of each other.
To be fair, John Candy died at the same age.
John Candy died from cheeseburgers and tequila.
Oh, and a lot of cocaine, actually.
Cocaine, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you know what could go wrong being 200 pounds overweight and eating like shit and doing a bunch of blow.
Yeah. And Piano's one of those ones that always just nuked his estrogen. He was always on like 3 milligrams of Arimidex, and he didn't have to.
Well, that was what we did back in the early 2000s.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, like he's like seeing that video on the whatever Think Bodybuilding. I was like, oh crap, yeah, that's right. It was a shitload of stuff like that.
I remember back in the day, everybody was taking 1 milligram of Arimidex every day. That was just what we did.
Yeah,
That's all destroying me.
So I never understood
Nobody's on a
that.
statin, right? Nobody's on a statin. Just
Was that just like gospel, I guess? Like, you know, like if you're gonna do this, if you do A, you're gonna do B. If you do test, you're gonna do Arimidex.
Well, at that time AIs were pretty new. I think they were introduced to the market in the late 90s. It was I pretty sure Arimidex, when was it? I have to look it up. When was it released? But yeah, anyway, yeah, that was the, you know, it's interesting to see all these dogmas that have changed in cycles and diet. Like back then, it was everybody was doing low carb too. You know, it was keto diet, or we would do what they called the, I don't know if you guys remember the shit loading diets or body opus diets, where you would eat 0 carbs, high fats all week.
Loading as well.
What's that?
Is that skip loading as well? Is that what that is?
Skip gets very upset when I talk about his diet because I don't understand it correctly.
Okay, well, we don't have to talk about it because I don't know what it is either. So
I have to get Skip on, but
Basically,
his diet has evolved, but but essentially, I think I'm not speaking for you, Skip. If you listen, I love you, man. I think it's a version of the shit loading diet, the body opus diet. Basically, you eat keto 6 days and then you just eat a bunch of fucking garbage one day. You have an unlimited amount of garbage.
Unlimited amount of garbage.
Combine that with
that's
what we did back in the day, and then combine that with smashing your estrogen with 1 milligram of Arimidex with some test EQ and Anadrol. I mean, what could go wrong?
Yeah. Jeez.
with McFlurries and McDoubles.
Well. Yeah, everybody was.
Roman says McFlurries are still legit. Roman said McFlurries are still legit.
You guys see that Skip is prepping again this year, but he's prepping himself.
Who's that?
Roman? He's doing like self-coaching?
No, Skip.
Skip.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Yeah. No cardio.
He's trying to have like a redemption prep. He feels his last prep was really bad. So he's lined out what he's doing this year. It should be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Arimidex was introduced to market in 1996. I don't recall bodybuilders using it in the 90s at all. It was the first time I heard of anybody using it was in the early 2000s. You guys got to remember, we didn't have this thing called YouTube and the internet. There were message boards and newsletters.
Yeah.
But on the message boards, it was taboo to talk about we didn't talk about gear. You couldn't talk about. There was no gear talk, which is fucking crazy to think about. Now everybody fucking talks about it. Everybody was worried about getting an FBI or DEA if they talked about Arimidex.
Well, the message times they were a good time though.
Oh man, I'm telling you, like I was when the Dante Trudell trained me, and him and Skip had that intense muscle. I guess Skip had it, and Dante was a featured person on there. But the people that I rubbed elbows with, like I didn't know who they were at the time, but we all like hung out and talked, like Dr. Scott Stevenson, John Meadows, what? Jordan Peters was on there at some point, I think. I mean, just like this who's who of fucking bodybuilders that were on there back in the day.
Justin,
I think
multiple accounts.
Yeah, Justin.
It was
Yeah,
actually
Justin was in.
kind of the same way for women. I feel like in a much more positive way that it's harder to find that kind of information now. Like back on the bodybuilding.com forums, I mean, like Jamie Eason was on them, and there were a lot of women that were really active on the bodybuilding forums. I mean, there was also a lot of like unsolicited dick pics coming my way, but I learned a lot back then.
Which one?
I got some good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, some showers, some
Were they
growers.
truly unsolicited though?
My
Not
favorite
really.
thing, my favorite response to an unsolicited dick pic is a different dick pic. Just
Got
Google
a
one
better
and
one.
send. Yeah, just Google a dick and send them another one. That's my favorite thing to do.
I have to wonder what I've talked about this before, but wonder what dudes are thinking when they do that. Like has that ever worked for anybody?
Depends on the dick pic.
Yes.
If
do
we
put
want to
treatment-
see it, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Generally, they'll pull it out for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say like unsolicited is the the questionable part here.
This is generally the pick I will share if requested.
There you go. I like it.
I
Yeah,
can't see
Put
it.
your hand over there. Your
it
hand
won't focus. It's a guitar pick that says dick on it. There it is.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there it is. Dick
That's my
pic.
dick pic.
Oh man.
Marty got some unsolicited dick pics when you shared his transformation on Instagram, Paul.
I get them too, just so in case you guys were wondering, I do get them.
Oh, but you put your feet online, so you asked for those.
I mean, yeah, that is an internet rule.
What do you think when you send that to another man? That this heterosexual man is all of a sudden going to see a picture of your dick, and it's going to be so great that he's just going to abandon his sexuality.
This is hilarious. I've gotten like 3 times the notification.
That
Oh
only
man.
happens if they're running a lot of trend. That's the only way that happens.
Sometimes it's just a numbers game.
Guilty.
Oh man, nobody cared about the EQ might kill you conversation, but we brought up dick pics, and now we got the
Dick pics and trend. We're on this train, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I told you guys about my friend who started running trend. This is the first time I've had a conversation outside of this group with a fellow gym goer, and he was like, "Yeah, I think it made me kind of gay." I'm like, "It can't make you kind of gay, dude."
Well, hang on. I
That's
heard gay
not
guys say it
how it
made them
works.
kind of straight.
And
maybe there's something
I'm
there.
like, and what? So why exactly you think that? He's like, because I caught myself looking at a guy at the mall and saying like, if I were gay, I'd date that guy. And I'm like, so I'm trying to figure out like if that was something that was in there already, and the trend just loosened his tongue.
No,
You know.
that means you're gay.
Yeah, Trent is just a truth teller. That's all.
I don't know. I was just, is it like alcohol? Like the same thing? It just lets go whatever's in there, just blah.
that was a funny Dr. Toddism when he called it the anabolic ayahuasca, and it helps you see the truth.
Yeah. Oh, you're honest with it for sure. Yeah. You're
I'm just going to name this live stream dick pics and trend. That'll get the most views I've ever gotten on a video.
Yeah, you'll get all the
100%.
clicks.
That's
You're
clickbait
gonna get
for
all the
sure.
clicks.
Alvaro is my video guy and my social media guy, and we played around with titles and thumbnails, and it's hilarious, man. If I put trend in the title or in the thumbnail, it literally it has a significant impact on the amount of views a video gets.
Yeah. Anytime you talk about trend, put it on TikToks on your TikTok. That's all you need to do.
Well, I'm perma banned on TikTok. I'm not
Oh, that's
allowed to
true.
even open it.
Your body was so muscular, you promote steroid use.
Oh, is
That's
that what
pretty
happened?
Oh, I'm banned on Facebook too. I just got put in Facebook jail
Oh,
All right.
What?
for a trend video, ironically.
naughty. There we go.
Too popular.
You got banned from the 2 lamest platforms. It's okay.
How have you know my grandmother used to be on that?
I was True Daniels. I was a practicing psychiatrist. I see a lot we had to unpack here.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Ask away at the psychiatrist. Hey, maybe they'll do a group rate for all of us.
Right. Group therapy session, YouTube video.
Oh, that would
Why
generate
do we want to
content
be
for sure.
beautiful?
Did you guys see Sam Sulik at let's see 3 weeks? Are we 3 weeks away from
You
the
should just pull up his
We're
chroma.
almost there.
20 days until the Arnold.
Yeah, we're almost there.
I you know, I'm always skeptical of progress pics because a lot of times people end up on stage not looking anything.
Well,
Like
hang on.
they're-
First of all, Sam is a great auteur, and he has got amazing cameras because he's basically spent the past 4 years doing all of his own shit. So he's
But
gonna look great.
he looks improved.
That
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks improved.
Yeah.
We'll see how he stacks up. I still think he's built more like an open bodybuilder, and would be better
Okay.
off bigger. But we'll see what he looks like.
He'll get bigger. He's been training for 7 years now.
Well, I mean, I think he overdieted last year. He actually got down and lost a bunch of size because I know he had a
He
hard time.
started
squeezing.
very fat, is what he said. He's like, I started very fat. He figured out what he did wrong. He got way too bulky, and then he had to.
Yeah, I know he had a hard time squeezing into the cap last year.
Yep.
But you know, you got an extra 10 pounds in the pros, so
Yeah, I think he's 226, 227 right now on the last video he did.
Yeah. But he looks phenomenal, though.
yeah, I know he looks great.
Yeah, that guy wants to be a bodybuilder, and he's doing everything he can to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah, no doubt.
Isn't he coaching himself?
He's
Isn't
coaching
that,
himself.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I know. I think he's an engineering student, right?
I think he graduated with an engineering degree, or maybe he left after 4 years.
He's definitely got like an engineering approach to things. I've noticed. Like he's
He
very
talks
much
about
one of those
sine,
people.
cosine, and all this other stuff all the time.
Well, he's like, you know, he takes inputs, he analyzes, he comes out with a change of action and puts it into executes. You know, that there's a lot to be said about being, you know, flexible like that with as you go in order to optimize your craft. There's
like-
a lot to be said about that.
He seems pretty Midwest chill, like just completely relaxed.
Mhm.
You notice the comments slowed down when we switched from dick pics to Sam Sulik.
It happens.
We'll put him in the title, and people will come by and say hi.
Yeah, Sam Sulik's dick pic. That'll get clicks.
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
Have you
I
guys
noticed
been paying attention?
A lot of people in bodybuilding have an engineering background.
Yeah, it seems like engineering or IT
Yeah.
is another one.
And it makes sense, right? It's like you have a complex multifactorial issue you're trying to optimize, and that you can,
Systems.
and you can optimize it infinitely. You know, like you can always get a little better.
Desire to analyze,
Yeah,
troubleshoot.
yeah,
And I'm an
yeah,
IT
yeah.
guy.
Experiments, hypotheses you can try. You know, it's all there.
Or a physicist.
I think just anything
Or-
that's hard that most people would say, "Oh, that's hard."
Or
That's
an
what you're gonna find in
autist.
bodybuilding.
Or an autistic.
Yes. Very- yeah.
Well, that's the common denominator in all of them. So
That is the common denominator in all of them.
Muscle autists, right?
Yeah, it seems like if you want a good bodybuilding coach, go hire the guy that's got the most the highest degree of autism. That's the guy you want to coach you.
I mean, it's a superpower because, it can be. You know, you can
Josh.
lock in like nobody else. If you
I don't know if I'm not formally diagnosed or anything, but I definitely get some ADHD, and sometimes I wonder if I am a little bit.
No,
on the
well,
spectrum.
let me tell you something. The best way to get diagnosed outside of a formal diagnosis is for other neurodivergent people to tell you that you are, because we know.
Yeah, we'll
our
let
own.
you know. We'll let
We
you
know
know
our
if you have a spicy brain, to use Tanya's expression. If you have a spicy brain, we'll let you know.
The fact that I've been sitting around playing chess 5 or 6 hours straight every night for the last few weeks, I don't know. That doesn't bode well for me.
Yeah, I'll be sending you an invite to a game soon, Paul. Get ready. It's been a while.
I'm
I
ready.
We
mean,
could
I
play
wanna be
video games
challenged.
together, dog. We could just play some video games. We could just blow up traitors
do
and
that too.
heretics and tyrannids. Like, I'll buy a new computer.
I did just buy Neo 3, so I'm starting that.
What is it called?
Neo
I don't know
Neo
any
3.
games.
It's a Team Ninja game. Did you play any, if it's, I don't want to get too nerdy on games, but
Ah, go ahead.
it's a samurai game. It's a Souls-like samurai game.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, like a Dark Souls with samurai stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, my kid just
That
got
sounds awesome.
Battlefield 6, so now I'm all into that. All of a sudden, I haven't played a video game in years, so
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
I play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
I was playing a lot of Path of Exile last year in Diablo 3, and then I wore both of them out. Just like there's nothing left to do.
Yeah.
So,
do you ever revisit games? Like it seems like every year I do a new version or walkthrough Fallout Vegas, for example, like for whatever reason.
I
still have
challenge
a
anyone
PS3.
under 20 to beat the original Legend of Zelda without a guide.
Oh, oh, that's a
You ain't
challenge.
going nowhere, homie.
When you say original, you mean like Nintendo original?
Nintendo NES original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
have you guys paid any attention to Dorian Yates lately? He has been super spicy.
But good spicy though, because
Yeah.
even though it is spicy, it's really good advice though. That's the
Yeah.
thing, you know?
Yeah, I love him. He's got the grumpy old man energy. I'm gonna play this clip from him from when he was on. I love or hate Andrew Huberman, but he was on Andrew Huberman's podcast, and I really vibe with this talk that he had. It's just a short clip from it.
Intensity doesn't come from nowhere. What was going on in your head?
I use a special type of motivation. It's called fuck you motivation. Fuck you to all the teachers at school that said you couldn't get anywhere. Fuck you for anyone. So I'm going to show you. Fuck you. So fuck you motivation. It's a great one, yeah? Whatever you got inside you, anger, negative emotions, use it all. Use it all like fire.
I just laughed at that because that's always been kind of my key motivator.
Yeah.
I love channeling that energy and proving people wrong. There's nothing I love more than somebody telling me I can't do something. And I'm like, yes, fuck you.
Energy.
Yeah, I love
I like
that.
when people are just supportive and friendly to me. I'm weird. I don't know. It's kind of nice. It's like
That's hilarious. Josh said, I thought Dorian was supposed to have found his peace via yoga and weed. He must have laid off the yoga and weed, man, because he must be.
yoga's not easy.
Listen, peace is not an absence of fuck you energy. Actually, it's very, very concentrated, precise fuck you energy.
I don't know. I love this this new. Well, I guess not new, but he's just being. I guess he just doesn't give a fuck right now.
I don't think he ever gave a fuck. Just people are listening now.
He never really. I don't know. He must have somebody new managing his content that's telling him just to fucking go for it, or be a little more spicy with things. I don't know, but yeah.
Or maybe he just found his lane, you know, maybe he just kind of, you know how sometimes you just find that space, that sweet spot.
I don't know,
He's
man.
figured it out.
Maybe he regrets not speaking up when Mike Minter was claiming he trained Dorian Yates, and he realized how bad that was for bodybuilding and training in general. And now he's like, let me just speak up when people like Dr. Israel talk shit about him, you know, things like that.
Yeah, somebody, so Paul, I remember when you talked about the chick from high school and she asked, I thought you used to be a bodybuilder. And that was definitely a motivator for me to get back. I've told that story before. Yeah, I actually told it yesterday. Somebody asked me, or was it the other couple days ago? Somebody asked me what got me back into bodybuilding. It wasn't like it was like I was already getting back into the gym, but it was definitely like the thing that tipped the
cherry on top.
It tipped the scales for you.
I was at my 25th class reunion and I saw a girl I went to high school with, and she walked up to me and she was like, "Didn't you used to be a bodybuilder?" I'm like, yeah, I did.
Yikes.
I was.
What did you look like in high school? I thought you had like a mullet and was like 180. Were you?
No, she knew me from I grew up in a small town, man. Like she knew me throughout my 20s.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So she saw you like after you started lifting.
Yeah.
When you came the D-ball king, baby.
Jeez.
I see we've already banned 2 people, or is it 3 so far?
I've banned at least 3 or 4.
It's definitely more than 2. Yeah.
Getting spicy out there. Hey, have you guys been following the Good Vito thing? Like that he's out for a few months, apparently.
Yeah, he's got some issues.
Yeah, which is really sad because he looked phenomenal.
What's going on with him?
Digestive issues is the last I heard. Like he had some kind of high impact he's lost like 8 kilograms in 2 weeks or some crazy numbers, what I heard. Some
That's
crazy amount of weight.
200 milligrams of Vanadrol a day and developed ulcer or ulcerative colitis.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
Adrenal,
great competitor, so it's kind of sad to see
adenocarcinoma
that.
of the liver, probably.
Yeah.
A big possibility.
Yeah, I mean, sad though.
This guy asked, "Can I be banned too?" Sure, we can ban you if you want.
Sure.
If the N word is nurse, then yes, we're inward friendly.
Oh man, people! I swear, man, I'm not quick enough on the solo live streams to ban people, so I definitely need
You need
guys.
moderators. You're gonna need moderators.
You want me to come be a moderator, Paul?
Hell yeah.
Oh man, yeah, people are funny. I think they like poking until they get a response. I probably shouldn't give it any attention, but anyway, yeah, Dorian was my old school favorite bodybuilder. Him and Arnold. I mean, I don't know, but man, I remember I really vibed with Dorian in the '90s because I'm an introvert, and Dorian's got that dark introvert energy of, I'm just going to fucking go in and destroy things at the gym. Although I tried lifting like that when I got back in my 40s, and I ended up just tearing muscles. That's the downside to the high intensity training.
He definitely has that look. Like if you you walked into the gym and saw him work out and thought about talking to him and actually saw him work out, you'd be like, yeah, no.
yeah, that
right around.
That fuck you motivation can end up with a torn pec. So that's the downside of it. All right, we want to get into some questions. It seems like we got a lot of them.
We have tons. We have so many questions today.
Cool.
All right, so the couple came in before we even started the stream. So I don't know if these people are still on, but they came in. This one came in an hour before we started. From Jack, BB91. How would you carb cycle for someone who has high activity output every day is over 30,000 steps, 1 hour of cardio, 60 minutes of weights until failure, medium to high carbs every day?
Sugar diet.
Why are you doing 1 hour of cardio and 30,000 steps would be my question. Jesus fucking Christ. Is somebody pointing a gun to your head?
That's got to be work related, surely. That's got to be like a factory
no.
work
That's regular like machinist level of activity. 30K is not.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that for sure.
Well, yeah, but he said 1 hour cardio, so
though.
1 hour cardio would be on top of that. I'll tell you what I do with my guys that are high activity. I have clients that are bodybuilders and construction workers and bodybuilders and work in factories, guys that are moving a lot. I don't see them moving 30,000 steps a day. 15, 20 maybe is like the upper limit of what I see.
Lazy.
Usually what I do with those guys, I give them a weekly step count goal. I don't give them prescribed cardio. I take the prescribed cardio out of the equation because they don't need it. And what I will do with the carb cycling is I'll just put in more high days if we have to. If we have to run fucking high day every day, we'll run a high day every day if we need to.
I would almost ask this person, like, that 60-minute cardio, is that because of an activity that they find fun that happens to be a cardio activity? Is that?
I think he's just asking what activities he would recommend for someone who already does 30K steps. Paul's answer is we were just based off of steps. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just count your steps. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! I had 60 minutes of weights until failure, 1 hour cardio. That's in 30,000 steps. That sounds like a highway, a fast track to having rhabdo.
Yeah.
Well, and how do you ramp that up? I think I look at that and think, like, what phase of your journey are you in?
Right.
If you're ever wanting to cut and this is where you're starting from, like, man, that becomes a lot of time of your day that you're going to have to spend doing cardio or even more steps, or like, I would try to pull back. Like, I think there's a benefit sometimes to eating less and doing less, rather than just trying to like eat more to do, like, you're doing more and then you're eating more and you're eating more and you're doing more. Like, what about pulling back, eating a little less? Like, maybe run some low days.
It's the whole cards in your hand thing again, right? If you're playing all the cards all at once, then where do you go?
Yeah, I mean, you already got the car redlined.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing to keep in mind too is all the other things that have to redline, as you say, to keep up with that. I mean, you're talking, if you're doing 30,000 steps an hour of cardio, obviously I try to pull the hour of cardio out, but you're already tapping out with all that food. Your pancreatic output, you can develop insulin sensitive resistance too. You do want to break from digestion. That's why I really appreciate the low days. I'm growing like a weed and my low days are carb free. So it gives me the ability to kind of catch up. I feel better. Digestion feels better. Inflammation drops over those weekends where I get these low days. There's a lot of benefits to running a low day. It's not a negative. Kind of like, some people chalk up a deload to always like a wasted week. I find ways to make them very productive for my people. So I would just consider, it is good to have both sides of the spectrum. You do want to break from pushing food so hard periodically, even in a week's time, in my opinion.
Well, Dave, you're a great example of someone who benefited from maybe pulling out some cardio too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm in the spot. I probably should put it back in. I was 248 this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, 8 pounds in a week is not good. So I
Yeah,
gotta
it's just
fix that. Yeah. Insulin works like a charm.
All
But
right.
I just think that that's kind of important because you can run into very quickly before you even get fat, before you even get a scenario where you're not growing. You could be, running your A1C up pretty high or your fasted insulin. You could be working your digestive system pretty hard before you even really make any headway. So I would just consider too, considering when to pull back is just as important as when to push hard.
I'm just going to say, if you're doing that level of activity, it's going to be impossible to gain muscle.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You're just going to try and maintain. Your body's going to try and survive.
Yeah.
This person is either trying to lose a whole bunch of weight or is already tapped out and less activity. But yeah, if you want.
Well, let me tell you this. On contest prep for most of my clients, this is contest prep. I max cardio out at 15,000 steps a day. Maybe 20 in an extreme case. And if I'm doing prescribed cardio, it's usually 45 minutes is like the max I will do in a single session. If I need to add a second session, if I need to go more than 45 minutes, I but very rarely do I take people over an hour total cardio in a day. Like that is like the extreme outliers.
It's funny. You're so right. I started capping things at 45 minutes for single sessions with my people. And even if that means I want an hour, so I'll do 15 post workout, it does make a difference on their like recovery, like the
there are literally studies on it that show that fat burning starts to decline after about 40 to 45 minutes. It's a curve. It goes up and then it comes down and then you start getting into gluconeogenesis at that point. Your body starts breaking down protein structures for fuel. And that's why you'll never see a jacked marathon runner.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and like cyclists, they try to hang on to some size because they need some strength in their legs. And cyclists are just hammering carbs the whole time they're riding. I mean, they're using gel packs. They're drinking
EPO.
Carbohydrate drinks. Yeah, EPO. All kinds of
All right, ready for another one?
EQ. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's
All
good.
right. So this one was also before we started. This was from John Peeland. I'm running 600 tests, 300 Primo weekly, and 15 Tren Ace daily. What are your thoughts on this cycle?
It'll grow muscle.
It'll work.
Yeah, I would ask why the Tren. I mean, are you in a fat loss phase? I generally only use Tren for 6 to 8 week runs. I don't like running it more than that. Once in a while, I will use it end of an off season if we need to clean up body comp a little bit, or if we need to push things a little bit more, maybe for 4 to 6 weeks. It's still pretty low dose of Tren, but I'll say this: I hope you're not. And I kind of gave this lecture yesterday, running Tren year round. The guys that I see, I all the time see dudes. I can think of one dude on social media that ran Tren year round. He made his whole social media presence from being the Tren guy and ended up losing his mind, ended up going fucking absolutely insane. All the dudes that seem to run Tren nonstop year round end up fucking melting their noodle after a while. They end up just going nuts. Seems like they end up super fucking paranoid. They end up they end up thinking everybody's out to get them. You'll see it with the changes in their content too. Like these dudes just kind of lose their fucking minds.
Look, I don't know if you notice it, but there are certain people, influencers out there that you can tell when they're on or off trend, even just from their delivery.
Yup.
Literally from their delivery. It's like,
I feel attacked.
Oh my God. Here's another one that needs to be banned. There we go. Thank you. You're gone. All right. What do we got up next?
Next one is, I'm considering running EQ versus Primo. Would EQ cause more gains than Primo with everything else held consistent? Is it worth the side effects? You have been noticing I'm a competitor.
I mean, if all things were equal, I would run Primo.
Yeah.
I think
EQ.
I mean, I used to put EQ in my B tier safety wise, but I think now I'd probably put it down in the C tier. I don't know. I like looking at what it does to blood panels and the effects that it's been having on people. I'd almost be inclined to use trend over EQ. At least you're getting something. I see the look on Josh's face.
Go on.
old words.
But at least you're getting something
Out of the risk that you're
out of the risk that you're taking. That's
there's a cost for trend, of course, but you can get a big win with a low dose.
Once again, like we talked about earlier, it's dose, duration, compound choice that make make the toxicity. But if safer use is your primary concern, I would probably build my cycles around test,
right?
GH, and then
you're trying to save money, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what I literally had a question on my forum, my anabolic bodybuilding members community, team anabolic bodybuilding members community this morning. A guy asked that Primo, he said it's 3 times the cost of EQ. He's like, is it really worth it? And I'm like, it's not a question of whether or not Primo is worth 3 times the cost of EQ. It's what your health is worth.
Yeah.
Right. Ask yourself that.
You got 2
but
kidneys.
Some people tolerate. You
But you don't want to lose
you got an extra one. Some people tolerate it okay, but I mean that's just the question I would ask.
Right.
Well, that's where that risk assessment comes into play. I've only got 1 kidney, so I ain't playing around with EQ.
Right.
That's for sure. I'm categorically not going to do that. Same with diuretics. I'm not going to touch
Gonzo, why do you only have 1 kidney?
It's trauma related. It was unfortunately at age 17. Yeah, that could be a whole podcast.
Yeah, it was it street club related?
It was home invasion related.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to tell that story. That's cool.
So, yeah.
I know this, my last EQ cycle, by the time I peaked out, got about 8 weeks in, and where I really was feeling the gains, I was super strong, I was super swole. The side effects just hit their pinnacle at the same time, and it was pretty rugged.
Yeah.
What
I
do
would
you feel
always
like?
choose
What were the side
Primo over
effects?
EQ if you can get it and you know that it's real.
You gotta test it. You gotta test it at this point.
What were the side effects, Mike? Like, what did you feel? Just tired, or was it the renal thing?
Yeah. So yeah, all the above. The side effects ranging from crashing my estrogen and just feeling totally miserable, dried out joints, no libido, brain fog, all the stuff that goes along with having 13 estradiol, and then all of the blood pressure side effects. Like I was getting readings in the 180s on some mornings. Yeah, it was rugged, and then when I did labs, it was all over. Like I got to start pulling this stuff out because my cystatin C and EGFR were elevated. I mean, every one of my blood markers.
Yeah, everything went really bad.
Anything that could go wrong on my blood panel went wrong. And,
wow.
And then on to boot, and this is partially the nandrolone in my cycle too, but like I had some of the worst neurotoxic side effects, cognitive side effects that I've ever had in my life. Like I couldn't really make content. I was just stuttering through a video. Like even people who have been watching all my stuff for a long time and who are declared themselves as fans were saying, dude, you're always talking about cognitive function. Like you sound like hell right now.
Yes.
So yeah, it was rugged, man. I was like the poster child for all that.
And
Honestly,
it's not just you, Mike. It's
no.
and I'll say this, like there seems to be a demographic too. Like I've noticed it seems like younger guys can tend to tolerate this stuff better, but but that's another thing you don't consider when you're younger is the cumulative effect of this stuff. Like it may not negatively affect your health now, but when you're 45, if you're 25, you may have some fucking problems. There's going to be a day of atonement.
Yeah, I mean, there's interest in that health bank account, so to speak, that you're writing against.
I would say outside of
video, I did a pretty good video on it on my channel. People aren't following that.
Absolutely.
I would say
not an EQ jackass, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
I would say outside of contest prep, if you're a master's bodybuilder, I wouldn't touch anything in my off season other than test, primo, HGH, maybe some insulin, or mass run if you can get your hands on it. Those maybe there would be a compelling argument to low dose nandrolone if you have joint issues and you tolerate it.
Low dose, talking like 50 to 100 milligrams max.
Yeah, 50 to 100 milligrams. Yeah,
that works really well.
yeah. The issue, I same thing with me, with Mike, with nandrolone. It ends up it's like my brain doesn't fucking work.
Oh, I haven't noticed the difference at all. Like
I get anxious, I get paranoid. I didn't used to have these problems with it, and then it's the brain fog. Like it's like I'm a half second slow on everything. Maybe that's I don't know.
Well, this next contest prep, we're going to do test and
hey Dave, we can
mode to not have to use an AI and GH, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, what do we got next?
All right, next one is from The Mouth Eats. I started 200 milligrams TRT a couple weeks ago. Where do you recommend injecting? Sounds like he had a sore delt. He's injecting 0.5 milliliters twice a week.
How long is your needle? That's an important fact.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's like you just started. Like it can be sore. I mean, like you can sometimes have a shot that's just kind of sore.
Yeah, shots
Yeah,
hurt
man.
when you've just gotten started, but if you're only doing 0.5 mLs, 25 milligrams, yeah. Butt is the easiest spot. Well, if you're flexible enough. And then your quads work, just go up high. I mean, well, for me, it's easy because of like trap, shoulders, whatever. I can hit everything. But chest is easy and looks awesome.
Rear
What's up,
delts work. Rear delts work good too.
Oh, yeah. If you can roll that, yeah.
I remember when I used to be able to reach those.
Fucking way I could reach around and do my rear delts.
Yeah, if you can reach it, it works well.
Yeah.
I can't even get my arm behind my head.
Just pull your shoulder out of socket, guys.
I just feel like this.
My rotate. I use. Talking about the needle size. I use 5/8 27 gauge needle. I hit my delts, triceps, quads, glutes, and I just rotate.
Oh, I use insulin 1/2 inches.
Yeah, I use 1/2 inch 29s. Seems to work fine. I do have 27s too, though. So
Yeah, I was really cautious on the recommending the chest one because I could see some dude with a 2-inch needle jamming it in his chest and puncturing his lung.
doing like the reverse Pulp Fiction. Oh, for sure.
Hey, look, if you can break it through your sternum with one of those needles, you deserve to break through your sternum. You can sledgehammer a sternum.
No, I'm just thinking of like, somebody finding you with a needle like stuck up. Jeez.
Well, would you rather die with a needle stuck up your butt or in your chest? Which one do you want? You know what I mean? What's more
I
embarrassing?
think the chest looks it looks more manly, I guess. It looks more
exactly. If you want to die certain positions.
Yeah.
Does anyone just use a 1-inch 23 or 25 anymore? I mean, isn't that like
I do.
my old school?
I don't feel like a whale to be harpooned. No. No.
I mean, if I need 450 Trent, I would use a big needle, but other than that, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, where's Justin?
I don't have
We
the patience
tell
to stand there
stories
with
of
three-
injecting with an 18.
Yeah,
I don't like
have
to
the
buy
patience
6
sit
different
there
needle sizes. Yeah.
with 3 milliliters of oil in a syringe trying to force it to a 27G.
Yeah, I do daily shots, so it's like it's a big difference. But
Yeah.
no, if you're doing
Same here.
3 mLs a shot, no, you're going to harpoons anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, for the amount I inject daily, because it's daily shots, it's 29s, 27s, so it's just fine. It does take a while to load them, though. You're right.
Yep.
You're right about that.
You got to
Not
think
patient.
too, if it's virgin muscle, it's always going to hurt no matter where you put it too. I mean, if he's just started and he's even just putting a half ml anywhere, even
Yeah.
if it's going to be a little sore. It takes some time to adjust.
Oh,
Yeah, you
horseshoe
get
of
used
your
to it.
trap's pretty good.
Yeah, it gets better
Okay.
with time. I like to get the syringes that you just screw on any size needle that you want. So you can have a drawing needle and then take that off and put a thinner one on to pin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
what I
lower
do.
lock.
That's a great idea. I've been using disposables just because of the convenience, but Tanya, that's a great idea.
How many
Yeah, I
shots
get
do you
the-
do a week, Tanya?
I do most of my stuff daily,
Daily. Oh, wow.
other than my HRT because it's just such a small amount. I do that twice a week, but everything else I try to do daily.
Bill, it's not Luberlock, it's Lure Lock.
Luber sounds a lot more fun.
Not a
Though.
Luberlock.
That goes with the dick pics.
Yes. That's the Luberlock.
That's going to be the now that we're going to add that one to the title. It's going to be dick pics, trend, and Luberlock.
Yeah.
I don't even
Luberlock.
get the Lure Lock ones. I get these brand Zig ones. They're just 1 mil ones with a little cap, and you pull it on and you just push on the other needle cap. They're cheap.
It's just the standardized name of lure life,
Yeah.
like frisbee for frisbee.
Yeah, I just get the off-brand one.
No, absolutely, no. You don't have to buy name brand needles, guys.
All right. Is Marv coming on? Because we did get a question specifically for Marv, but it was Marv or the group.
I
But it'd
mean,
be
he
a good
said he
one
was
for him if
coming
he's-
on, but no, I haven't
right, well,
seen
we'll-
him.
Nick, we're going to skip that one for a second to see if Marv does come up. We'll come back to it. So let's get this one from Zionic. 13 weeks of a push-up and just increased to 700 test and 500 deca. Probably run the same thing again after a mid-year full cut. Is there a question here?
Is that a
Zionic?
statement or a question?
I think that's
Good
just
job.
a statement.
I have questions. Does your dick still work with that ratio?
There we
Send
go.
us a picture to confirm.
More indecision.
Also-
So he's getting the mental
Also adding in
side.
some deca this week. More indecision. All right.
Can you
Yeah.
still get a firm erection after that?
Yeah, that's the thing about DECA. My dick and my brain are two of my favorite organs, so I need them to function properly.
Well, hang on. Your brain's always going to tell you, "I'm your
This is-
favorite organ." Stupid brain.
This is turning into the dick episode.
Jeez.
Trend, dick pics. What else do we need to hit the algorithm? We said
I'm total. This one's totally getting demonetized. I haven't had a live stream demonetized since Dr. Todd was on, so this one's definitely hanging.
Well, listen, that is one of my goals.
Even though you start almost every episode with motherfucker.
You're allowed to say that now. They changed the rules. Everybody got
Really?
upset. They used to have like some silly ass rule where you couldn't say
Yeah, the first 7 seconds, and then it was like 42 seconds, and then I'm like, God.
you couldn't say the F-bomb within a certain minute time frame of the intro of your video, and then people like all the creators were like, yeah, fuck you. And so they backed down on that one.
You know what you need to do more often is have your daughter laughing in the background like yesterday.
Oh my god. She was like
It'll make you feel like a man.
It was like you had an auto laugh track. It was like you were filming in a live studio.
you know it's good when I can make somebody laugh off screen and they don't even know what's going on, right?
She had my heart when I heard her refer to you as this motherfucker.
We know
She's going
Jeffrey's
into medicine.
gonna
She's my
talk
hero.
By the way, Tanya, my daughter asked who the badass was on the podcast with the shaved side of their head.
It
So
me.
you got her stamp of approval.
Hell yeah.
All right, what do we got up next?
All right. So, Nick, we'll come back to your question. If Marv doesn't jump on in a few minutes, we'll come back to it. So from Lewis on the net, got a question for you. How did Kevin Levrone run 600 tests, 400 deca, and 700 anadrol per week on his second cycle without getting high blood pressure?
He did.
Oh, he probably did have high blood pressure. Nobody just gave a fuck back then.
You don't fill out that quickly without blood pressure going up. You know?
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
I don't know. I guess I could tell this story. Who gives a fuck if Kevin? I know a guy who knows a guy who knows Kevin. It's one of those stories, but I heard that Kevin would he loved the trend in anadrol. That was how he would make his rapid transformations. and a lot of it.
Mhm.
It worked.
I know a guy back in the day that used to sell him his drugs, and he said Kevin would buy a bunch of Tren and Anadrol from him, and be back 2 weeks later wanting more, and he'd be like, "What, dude? You already went through all that?"
I think that Mike Bell's got it right. Kevin is a genetic anomaly, probably. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Probably so.
I can tell you in the 90s, nobody gave two fucks about their blood pressure. Nobody was checking their blood pressure. I never heard of anybody doing that until like
pressure,
2005.
kidney, heart size, blood sugar, nothing. Not a damn.
Dude, I remember on the forums people saying you're not trying unless your blood pressure's high.
Jeez. Raw dog bodybuilding. That was the deal.
I'm over 140, guys. It's looking good.
Bring up that Dorian video again. His head looks like he's about to explode when he's lifting weights, man. That guy's so bright red.
Yeah.
Remember Eddie Hall doing his world record deadlift, and he was bleeding from his fucking eyeball? What do you
everybody
think his
does
blood
that. No,
pressure was?
Yeah, if you're great.
That's Anadrol working for you right there.
That's just weak blood leaving the
Anadrol,
body.
Halo test, and Tren. Back in the forum days, you were told to shut the fuck up and take care. Yeah, but people would be like, "Stop being a pussy,
Quiet and take your gear and grow."
I've even heard Fawad talk about it when guys would say, "You're not trying unless you have high blood pressure." I mean, that was true. So yes, Kevin probably had high blood pressure. Some people are just more resilient than others.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I do see some dudes that just seem to be able to hammer fucking everything, and their blood work and their biomarkers never seem to change.
I mean, it happens. There is individual variance and tolerance, and some people are just built to take drugs, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have my crazy uncle who's almost 80 years old who's fucking drinks a case of beer every day and smokes 2 packs of candles his entire life, and
Never cancer, never an issue, right?
no, he's totally fine.
There you go. I mean, some people are like that. Some people walk through a room where people are smoking and gets lung cancer. You never know.
You can get lung cancer without smoking. How much fun is
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I've actually had a friend with that, which is crazy because he was the friend that always told us don't smoke. And it's like, that is some divine comedy level of humor there, God.
My mom has been a functioning alcoholic her whole life and still to this day drinks White Claw every single night. Has fantastic liver markers. Irish genetics.
There you go.
Well, when we were talking about the EQ debate in Primo, it kind of that's what I was thinking is kind of like myself. I seem to be quite a good tolerator of things like, I take EQ, my hematocrit's at 41, my hemoglobin's extremely low. I'm pretty fortunate. Some things don't seem to beat the crap out of me.
No, you don't get the high hemoglobin and hematocrit. This is hilarious.
One thing I'm no different than anyone else, though. I see just like anyone else, my cholesterol, my HDL and LDL, I got to chase around sometimes, but for the most part, I'm pretty fortunate.
Yeah, human variance.
This is hilarious.
I do I can do like 600 tests and like never need an AI.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. Lucky
That's
me.
hilarious. This dude said, I knew someone who took out their oxygen to smoke. What could go wrong with a fire stick and an oxygen tank, right?
Hey, walk through any Las Vegas casino, and that's what you see every other person.
That's true. They don't always take them out. That was the first time, Tanya. That's the first time I saw that. The first time I went to Vegas, that I saw like a little lady with her little tank and
a cigarette going at the same time.
I'd never seen
walking
that.
around feeling like you're in the 90s again. Like, oh, we can just smoke inside. What is?
One thing I was going to quickly mention, and sorry to bring this back up, but Gonzo, like you were saying too, some people are just a little different with how they interact with certain compounds or trainings or diets and everything. And I think it's kind of sometimes when you answer the question for somebody, what do you think about this combination or whatever, it really actually kind of comes back to how do you handle them? Because I mean, I have a lot of people I get some similarities to. Paul and I kind of have some similarities as bodybuilders to a sense, but I do know that what works well with us for compounds are definitely different, and
Yeah.
So it's just kind of what works for him, which might look good on paper too, might not work good for me or be as optimal, or I might have to fidget with it.
Absolutely true. We were just talking about MPP, just to make a very brief, quick point. Like that, I've been working with that the last few weeks. Like I don't even feel that it's there, and and it's working. It's working really well. And Paul tells me, if it were him, cognitive issues immediately. So,
well,
I never used to
we're
problems
roughly
with
the
it.
same age.
That's the wild thing. I ran it for years. DECA used to be my jam, man. I ran a lot of DECA, and then eventually I got to the point where I couldn't use it anymore. It was just like I remember, like, I would always run it post show, post diet to put on size. And I remember this one time I started MPP up, and I was having fucking horrific panic attacks nightly, like to the point where I felt like I was suffocating and dying. Like, and I'm like,
wow.
I can't do this.
Yeah, that would stop me dead in my tracks if I had anything like that.
Hang on. How long did you let that go?
Oh, like a month. Like, it's not the DECA.
It couldn't be that.
That's
DECA
not
loves
it.
me, baby.
It's not the NPP.
Gonzo,
It's
you're
not-
early in though. Sometimes length of exposure has a lot of time to lot to
Oh,
do
for
with it.
sure.
So we'll
For
see
sure.
in 6 to 8 weeks how you're feeling.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a short answer too, so that in case we need
you're
to
also
pull that.
running really low doses too.
Yeah. It's low dose, and if we need to pull the ripcord, we'll pull it. I am a harm reduction guy. I'm 54 years old. I'm not gonna be playing I'm not playing Josh's like 1,000 milligrams of Tren a week thing.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
How are you, Marv?
Howdy. Sorry, I'm late.
You missed all the dick pic talk.
Oh, dang it.
Oh,
And all the
We'll fill you
trolls.
in, baby.
And we banned like 20 people so far today.
Really? Right on. All right.
Yeah, so
Age of
it's been-
social media. Very nice.
I think we had a Marv question, didn't we?
We have a couple. Yeah, I've been saving them. So we do have a couple.
Oh,
The first
all
one
right.
from Nick Flynn. Question for Marv. I'm starting to see loaded stretching as beneficial in a lot of different contexts. Curious how some of you use it before, during, or after exercise or on off days.
What's stretching?
All the above. So Dante pioneered that, right? And then it's cool when all the research comes out. Like he found a study where they had birds and they would literally hang them for weights for like 24 hours at a time and measure it. So that'll increase not the length, but more number, like the number of cells, right? So that can be anabolic. So that's like extreme stretching in DC or like Dr. Scott's fortitude training. Yeah, obviously we're not doing loaded stretching before training. The only time I advocate for any sort of static stretching is this 20 to 30 seconds, 3 to 4 rounds for calf training, right? Warm up the Achilles. You do not mess with that. Just FYI on the topic of calf training, because I've had 2 injuries come in the since I've been on this channel. There's something called the watershed area, which is like 2 or 3 inches up from your heel where it attaches. That is the least amount of blood supply in the Achilles tendon because it's a tight cord. That's why it's like a rubber band. But if that starts hurting on calf raises, especially if you're doing like a DC calf or, everybody's doing these crazy stretched, lengthened positions, which I like for calves. But if that starts hurting, do not ignore it. So the only time I'd recommend static stretching before is for that. And it's only 20 seconds maximum. Because once you get near the minute, then you're actually defense mechanisms are relaxing to allow the muscle to stretch further. So not a huge fan of that pre-activity. But loaded stretching, as soon as you finish training that muscle is freaking awesome. But here's the mistake people make. And again, I'm bringing up Dante's name because he's the one who pioneered it. At least that's my understanding. I've talked with him about it. You're not progressing the weight, right? You're progressing the time. So 45, 50-pound dumbbells is plenty of weight to do a loaded stretch on your chest. Don't be doing that with 120 pounds, right? Like this, think about risk reward. I'll have people start doing it like start for 45 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot on paper, but you've got a crazy pec or lat or quad pump. Oh my God. Like that's a long ass time. So try and progress it. I like 60 to 90 seconds. Typically seems to be the max. It also will help keep the fascia like healthy. So anecdotally, it seems to me if I'm doing like, if you're cupping or scraping, right? Cause you can do it yourself. Never over a bruise, like I've talked about, because that could create other issues. If that
Did I
sounds
just beat on my chest like Tarzan before the chest workout? Would that work?
yeah. You get a lot of blood flow. That's for damn sure.
I mean, you know.
But yeah, you could do it. You could do a little bit. Like we're stimulated by touch, right? So one of the things I'm big on, and I know I'm going a million miles an hour, is like vibration, 10 to 20 seconds on the target muscle before your working sets help mind a muscle. You could do a little bit of tooling, but if that sounds and feels like gravel, this is my thoughts, because they're not going to research this on bodybuilders. I think the fascia is super tight. So for me, yes, my training was terrible because I didn't know how to use my chest, my pecs. I did a 45-degree angle bench. That's front delt because of my sternal angle. And today I planned ahead and actually brought models, right? So if you're like this, 15 to 30 degrees maximum is your incline angle for upper chest. If you've got a steep rib cage like Arnold and Jay and all the people with the best chest in the world, they probably are hitting their chest at like 60 degrees of an incline. But once I learned how to train and then that quit sounding and feeling like gravel, my chest started growing. So keeping the fascia is super important. You could do it on off days as well, right? I think it's really important if you have like an old ankle injury. So I completely shredded my right ankle to where I literally had maybe 2 inches of bottom of a calf dorsiflexion. And I did a lot of DC calves, which is very painful, and a lot of loaded stretching. And while toes down is still not even, I'm almost close to even toes up, which is more important for bodybuilding, right? So that could really help as well. But it needs to be respected, because if you haven't done it before, don't go crazy doing it 5 times a day, right? You could cause other issues. But I am a huge fan of it in the training session. Keep yourself mobile on off days, absolutely, but you are progressing time, not load. So let's just be smart about it. And then if it's causing pain, like say you're trying to stretch your chest, you should feel it in your chest. If you're feeling it here, you're getting your front delt, or you're probably getting your shoulder capsule. That's like, keep the tension where we want it. And if you're going way too heavy, and then one last thing, what I do when I'm programming is say, you know, I'm a lower volume person. So if you're only going to do 1 or 2 chest movements, you do, you know, like a decline and then a flat movement, have your loaded stretch be on an incline bench, because then you're taxing the muscles slightly differently. Again, that's all like bro science, makes sense on paper in a vacuum, but that is another way to do it.
Bro science is welcome here.
Yep. So it is science too, though, right? Because it's what is evidence-based? Research, anecdotal experience, and preference. It is a 3-prong thing, and bro science is absolutely science, because how often do we say stuff and then it's proven later in the data? Like, we're usually on the cutting edge more often than not on a whole bunch of topics. Correct. But it could be super helpful. And yeah, there's my rant. Any questions? Did I give too much info, or
Dante personally trained me from 2002 to 2005, I think it was. And I remember doing the loaded stretches during that time. Those things are fucking brutal.
They are. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, I'm always back and forth of, should you do an aggressive loaded stretch on your hamstrings after like a leg curl if you're about to do like hack squats to failure? I'm kind of now like, let's do, you know, because you do a stretch for that long, the goal is you're getting defense mechanisms to relax so you could actually stretch it, and that'll decrease force output, right? You want to kill somebody's vertical jump, have them do aggressive stretching of their hamstrings and calves, and they immediately jump, it goes way down. So I'm more of, do your, you know, if you do leg curls and do your quad movement, do the compound quad movement, then stretch your quad when it's extra spicy because it's full of blood, and then do your loaded stretch on your hamstring. And there's multiple ways to stretch multiple muscles. So I've put a bunch of videos up. So if you've got questions on that, but just think about, here's how you know how to stretch a muscle. I'll finish with this. Let's do bicep. So what does your bicep do? It does a little bit of shoulder flexion. We know it curls the elbow, and it does a little bit of, this is called supination, right? Palms up. So sup, bro, supinate. Reverse that. So then I would want to be extended. I want to be palm down pronated, and I want to be extended. So to figure out how to maximally stretch a muscle, do the opposite of its action.
Nice. Can I ask one question about while I have it on top of my head, Dr. Marv, and it's about kind of the strategy for stretching. If you have an area, like my wife has an area when she does vertical pressing and she does a lot of shoulder movements, even flies, she consistently gets her traps in that back of her neck and traps bound up. And so when she's done training, it's later on in the night, it starts to kind of get tighter. It builds up, maybe a little inflammation, not quite a bit. But how do you approach that? We've tried stretching ahead of time. Maybe we're not doing the stretches correctly. We have had some success just altering her lift, just so she's kind of more into the target muscle and not allowing traps to take over. But it's something that we can't really pin down. And I know there's got to be a way to kind of soften the area, but still work up to it and not build this tightness.
So it's primarily on overhead pressing.
Yeah, we've come to find on a lot of her push days, pretty much shoulder movements are triggering.
It's super common. It is most likely her levator scapula, which is, I'm treating that all the time. So it goes from the corner of your shoulder blade up to your neck. And when you are overhead pressing, like I always talk about, you've got hooks on your shoulder blades. You want them to rotate up, so you're creating space in the shoulder, not impinging it. And so it's super common. Overhead pressing, if anybody does CrossFit on the side, handstand push-ups, pull downs could trigger this, right? So one, I would look at her breathing. So you should only be breathing this way when you're in the gym, kicking ass and going to failure. If you're doing that day to day, you are using your levator and other muscles in the neck that are accessory muscles that should only help you breathe. So check her breathing pattern. Then somebody could do self-tooling on the neck, and the levator scapula is the particular muscle. And then, I treat that super commonly. Also, keep your elbow slightly forward in scaption plane, which most people know about for overhead pressing. So your upper arm's parallel with your shoulder blade. So that allows the rotator cuff to stabilize, making it easier. And then also really strengthen serratus anterior, because the only two muscles that do the upward rotation that will take stress off of her neck is serratus anterior, which nobody trains, and then traps, especially the lower traps, which I've shown on here multiple times. So get serratus work. Her rib cage, when that muscle gets chronically tightened, her rib cage is going to start to get compressed on the back, which will tighten it further, which will then make the shoulder rotation needed to press overhead harder, because an overhead press is external rotation driven, right? So you want to keep that rib cage moving. So as I've talked on before training and after training, most bodybuilders are compressed front to back, and this angle super wide because we get really strong, right? If you're super hollow and super closed, you're probably not that strong. So lie on your side on a foam roller right at nipple height for 10 breaths before training, after training. That'll get the rib cage moving. That'll take a lot of pressure off of the levator. Check breathing pattern. You could do, obviously you're not going to do massage gun on the neck because it'll rattle your teeth out of your head and it's not pleasant, but you could go right on that inner corner of the upper shoulder blade for 2 minutes of vibration right after she's done training, or if it starts tightening up, because 10 to 20 seconds of vibration turns on a muscle. 2 minutes will inhibit it and change your brain's perception of pain. So it'll get it to relax. And then it distracts your brain from pain signals. So I would proactively do a little bit of tooling, massage gun, check the rib cage, and then really start strengthening serratus. I like TYWs for lower traps, and then just make sure biomechanically we're also in an advantageous position, which is slightly forward. And then I also find most people don't do well on a straight 90-degree bench angle, just barely incline it, and that'll also help. But overhead pressing is a super common culprit.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, it seems that absolutely. Yeah. Well, and we did that trick with the massage gun and found the most
did it help?
It did. Temporary relief.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's a Band-Aid, but
yeah.
Check breathing pattern, get the ribcage moving better, strengthen the serratus. I will treat a levator probably on half of my patients, and I'm treating on every bodybuilder. Even if it's not tight, that'll dramatically improve posing, because it's on the inside corner of the shoulder blade, right, going up to the neck. How are you going to do a lat spread if you can't push the shoulder blade out because that levator is not letting it do it? So I had a guy come in from out of town, super cool dude. He knows you too, Paul. And I, he was having a little bit of pain in his double back bicep. So we did a breathing drill. It helped. I adjusted him. It helped. I dry needled and then really, really helped. So I will treat levator and trap for posing and training alone, even if it's not painful, for like performance care.
Yeah. And one last quick thing, and I'm sorry to drop these questions on you, but is it common for some of these things to like target one side? Because sometimes she'll just almost feel like it's split down the neck and it's her right side. And I've heard this from a few other clients when they get something, specifically traps are kind of bound up top in there. It sometimes favors a side, like it hurts on this side, but it's almost split down the middle. Okay.
Yep. And she's right-handed, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So you want a fun experiment? Put your dominant arm in a sling, just use a belt for an hour and realize we use it for everything. Yeah. So it's already going to be slightly shifted forward and most likely rotated in, which is already going to increase that resting tension. So usually the right side is more bound up, and hips too. We're obsessed with symmetry, which is great, but we're asymmetrical by nature, right? You have more organs on the right side of your body. There's more of your brain is devoted to the right side of your body. What else? When we stand, we typically stand for long periods of time with our right knee locked off, shifted to the side, and then we're always reaching with one side. Yeah. And then anecdotally, this is my theory, I think also driving, because if the foot gets tight, it's usually the right side, which directly impacts the hip. So I think we're going a little bit different, but usually just right side, both hips and shoulders and neck is usually what I'm treating.
Yeah. Nice.
Dr. Marv, would you say that losing that arch in the back that a lot of people have when they're doing their overhead presses can also help with that issue? Instead of flaring the ribs up like a lot of people do?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be very person dependent. It's nice to finally meet you after chatting on YouTube for so long.
You as well. I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's going to be very, very person dependent. So that's hard to give a blanket statement. I will say though, you want a little bit of mid-back extension, because if we don't, you can't fully retract your shoulder blades, right? So it's that bound. When is the extreme correct? Very rarely, right? It's usually a little bit, right? That way you're not super flared out, which is going to cause bracing issues, because then how is your oblique going to fire? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's usually just a happy balance. And I find if people are doing the 90-degree angle, you slightly lean it back and then you slightly move their elbows forward. Now you would argue, well, then you're getting a little bit less back of the middle delt. Well, then do different lateral raise variations for that anyways.
Right.
Man,
That's awesome.
we just hammered for Dr. Marv.
Want to get
That's
another
what I'm
one
here
in
for.
here?
Yep.
That's what he gets for being an hour late.
I thought it was noon central, so when I was like, "Oh my god, they've been on for an hour." They've been whoops. So, but my house is
cool people are
spotless for
East
my
Coast time.
mother-in-law coming into town, so at least I got that done.
Oh, good.
All right, what do we got up next?
Next one is from Bill Parlerman. My lats are lacking. How do you balance load versus being able to feel the lats burning during your reps? I struggle with going heavy versus actually feeling the muscle working.
Oh, I can work with this one.
Go for it.
Well, so for me, like, and it was a discovery, and it's fairly recent. I've been doing the lat work because of what I'm trying to compete with men's physique, which is all lats, and I find like my lats have, need to grow. So unilaterally, pull down movements that are unilateral, it changed everything because you can focus and you can find a sweet spot for sure of where you feel the muscle engage slowly and with control. And you can feel like, you can work that resistance up or down until you find that sweet spot that's in the rep range you need, that gives you the stimulus you need, but definitely do it unilaterally. Changed everything for me. That's sciencey.
It's in the research because that increases motor unit recruitment, so your brain can devote better to it.
Yes.
So you are 100% correct.
Okay. Woohoo! I got one.
Very good.
And then stay within the active range of motion of the lat if you have a hard time feeling it, which is 120 degrees of flexion just to elbow by your side. And then think elbow down, right? Because he's probably trap dominant. So when people have lacking lats, they're very trap dominant. So as they hit failure, even on rows, they're going to start shrugging up.
Yep.
So if you keep elbow down, and then hold that contracted position for a solid 2 count till where it's cramping, you could do a little bit of side bending, but not too much, right? That could be super helpful as well.
And if you can find somebody who's really good in person to work with, especially something like struggling with your lats, that can be something that you can get the most out of working with somebody who's really good at helping you do that in person, if there's anyone local, and if not, somebody who's really good at doing it virtually online.
Yeah. If you want to take a look at there's a competitor named, I think it's Brandon Henriksen. He's a big men's physique competitor who happens to be working on his lats right now as we speak. So if you go to Instagram to his feed, you're going to see a lot of very individual exercises, which is kind of where I got the idea. By the way, like it's not like I'm a genius. I just copied it from somebody. So, and
I've also been specializing my lats for like 3 years now, so I have plenty of videos too, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if I can add one thing too, if back can be quite difficult for anyone to find connection to. It's not an easy muscle like bicep. It's just, it does take a little bit of thought process. I wouldn't worry about the load intensity until it doesn't take much load to find the lat.
That's
to
right.
Find your range of motion that's going to work with the movement too. Like Dr. Marv says, when you're doing a bent over dumbbell row, you want to make sure you can eliminate that last bit of shrugging and taking over the back with the wrong target muscle. But I find like me and Tanya talked about this a while back too, and like putting yourself at a disadvantage so you can only use your back muscles on some of these movements are going to be key. Like I like teaching people with straps, so that way they can just hook on, they can barely squeeze, they can lead with the elbow. They can physically feel what I'm telling them when I say your hands are just hooks and you're pulling through your elbow into your belt line, and we'll show them the whole movement. The other thing I'd say that is a really easy thing to do, and if you've been in the gym for a while, he says he's 55 years of age. If you've been in the gym a little bit, I'm sure you know what a good form looks like to a point. You have to feel it. You can look one way but feel totally different. But self-audit yourself. Set up a camera, set up your phone, get the right angle so you can see, is my scapula opening throughout this movement? Where am I overextending too? We don't want to tear a bicep or hurt the shoulder by overextending overhead. So I find that to be very beneficial, because some people watch their own video and go, oh, I don't look anything like, or, oh, I know exactly what's the problem here. They can pick up sometimes on themselves. And then one last quick thing is, like you said, when you're driving your hand back, a really good trick for feeling your lats in most motions is picture that your handle is actually a screwdriver and you're trying to dig grout out of the ground. So as you pull back, you're still allowing a little bit of a drop to the elbow and a little bit of pushing to your palm downward. And you're now engaging downward with the pull of your elbow, and especially on fixed machines. So if you got a fixed machine that's not cable, it's not free weight, say you have a plate loaded one-handed row, if you just visualize and actually put some effort into pushing that handle downward, like a screwdriver digging out grout from the ground, from the tiling, that works really, really well. You'll feel those lats immediately.
That's a great cue. I'll remember that.
I kind of like to think about it. Sorry. I kind of like to think about it. I like to think about it kind of like scissors. Like this is one blade of your scissor, your rib cage is the other, and we're just slicing and bringing it together and up. It's a blade. I just think of it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good too.
Can I add one more thing? I don't want to like dominate because I came in late. Okay, 2 things. One, if you find a movement that you finally feel your lat connecting to, do that first and maybe only work on one other movement. Right? Because if you're trying to do 10, I need my lats. What does everybody do? I'm going to do 10 different lat exercises from 10 different Instagram pages. If you find the one, ride that till the wheels fall off, and then add another one, and then try and get that same contraction. And then similar to the loaded stretching, my activation sequences are, what does the muscle do? Do that. So you would want, for a lat / teres, because your teres will help.
Right.
It's extension, a little bit of internal rotation, and then a little bit of adduction. So with a cable or band, boom, and then squeeze that for 5 seconds again till it starts feeling like a cramp. Then try and replicate that on the movement. And most people go way too heavy. Like how many times we see somebody with a full stack on a lat pull down? I'm like,
Yep.
You're moving the weight, but your upper back's doing your rhomboids, your teres majors doing all the work. Like 120 pounds, if you're really on the lat, is quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
But like everybody wants to stack it and then gym pin it, and then they're using body. I'm like, you're using your erectors to move the movement. So
yeah, they're acting like it's a
lot
rowing
lighter.
machine.
Yep.
You ever
Now,
notice the
sometimes
guys that
you
are
don't
doing
wanna
that
be
never have
locked.
big backs?
Correct. And then
That's
you
it.
also don't want to be so locked in, right? Because everybody wants to replicate Justin Shire. So they're going 5 seconds with like 20 pounds. Like it's a balancing act. But
Right.
if you find a movement, stick with that as your main meat and potatoes, and maybe try and add 1, maybe 2. That's it. Then once you get that, then branch out, but quit doing 20 different things if you can't get it to work.
Yeah, because if you're throwing 20 different, slightly different stimuluses at your body for your nervous system to deal with, you're not really learning any of them very well.
And a fun fact, 20% of people's lats do not attach to their shoulder blade. Just a fun fact for the day.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Me either.
Cool.
So if you go on Jeopardy, I now get 10%. Thank you.
Marv already
Best thing
said a
is-
lot of what I was going to say on this, but disconnecting your ego or whatever thoughts you have about having to do some of these movements like barbell rows or heavy dumbbell rows that this is bro lore that this gives you a big back and
Heavy rack pulls.
focusing rack pull. That's a
Rack,
good one.
rack pulls are just to make your traps pretty.
Yeah, and if just focusing on what you
And
can
your forearm.
actually connect with.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys too do heavy rack pulls, don't they? And they look like crap.
I still program them for people if they can do them correctly.
Well, yeah.
If there's a specific need for them and it's justified, but most people who do them don't
So,
have
like-
that specific need and it is not justified.
Like anything else, what are your goals? Does this tool in the arsenal do the thing you need it to do?
Mhm. I do like putting rack pulls before someone's heaviest. Like if I have a close grip row in somebody's, let's just say it's a cable close grip row, I kind of like putting rack pulls ahead of time because it gets them to kind of activate those erectors, and then they become a little more conscious not to be rowing the weight when they get into that close grip row. They're a little bit more strict with it, and they're just trying to kind of ease their back, strengthen their core, and pull, with their actual back rather than inertia. But
If you're using close grip, though, be careful how far you go back because your elbow will want to flare out, which is not the lat, right? So be mindful of that. So
yeah, so when I put close grips, I never put the real close ones. We have ones that are maybe
the shoulder.
14. Yeah, they're just within your shoulder. So I'd
Yeah.
literally be, my thumbs would be going in kind of just under my armpit.
So like a more of a neutral grip look to the bar.
Yeah, I guess you'd say so. Yeah, I call them the
It's like the
bicycle grip.
U-shaped one or whatever. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that one for
These is
pull
for all
downs.
the people who want to like use the whole stack and look good, but you're getting your biceps. Let's be real.
Hey, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
like
getting your
a-
biceps too, baby.
I'm guilty of using the narrow one, like the narrow max grip one. But
You won't be able to go as heavy if you're doing what Dave's talking about.
yeah, no, and that's fine as long as it works what it needed to work.
Well, I mean, you
That's-
put a guy like Paul on, like you say, too short of narrow of grips. He's never going to get his, like you say, his elbows around his back. It's just you're not going
Right, it's not gonna it's not gonna fit.
Yeah,
That's one of the biggest corrections I make in clients' training videos is please get a wider grip than that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's me showing up to PF with a bunch of different grips stuffed in my backpack because they don't have any good equipment.
I've done that.
Oh, they move around in mine because they're all like Fitgo gyms. So I go to different gyms and then I'll just take parts that I need and drop it off the next gym.
Oh, can we actually ask Melvin's question, Amy? Because I think Dr. Marv would put this one to bed for the what's better, overhand or underhand grip.
Yep. Yeah, that was before we do that, we did get a super chat. So I got to shout out Jovu. Appreciate the show, the necessary and wise words from you, Paul, and your awesome crew. Paul does have necessary and wise words.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So from Melvin, what's better, under grip or both hands over grip for deadlift?
Oh, I can do this one. I can do this one too.
I just kind of thought of it in like injury prevention thought because I'm not a big fan of
100%.
underhand on these by any means.
100%. I'm a big mixed grip guy, but then you have to be super religious about like same weight, same load, same thing. Swap those hands.
Marv, I'll ask you on this one. My orthopedic surgeon told me you're fucking crazy if you do an over-under grip, that he's seen so many distal tendon, bicep tendon tears from it.
Why do 70% of elite powerlifters have a weird bicep on one side for that reason? Plus,
because they're elite powerlifters.
Yeah. Yes, correct. And then you're changing everything. So like your upper back stimulus. So you like somebody else was saying, you've got to religiously switch, but I don't like it because that's how you pop a bicep. So overhand for sure, or hook grip if you want to be like super specific, but I don't like the mix because it'll unbalance you. Right now, your grip will be a little bit stronger. That's why powerlifters do it. Right. But we are not power lifters. Once again, are not power. Our goal is to make a lightweight feel as heavy as possible. That's the opposite of powerlifting. So overhand is significantly safer. Significantly.
Note to self, Dr. Marv says I did it wrong.
Hey, you do you and live your best life.
I don't deadlift anymore. I got my ego lift out of the way like maybe 2 years ago. Never injured myself, knock on wood as I say that. But then I realized at this age, it's like Paul always says, what's my risk reward after 4+ plates?
So I want to ask the panel, I think RDLs are vastly superior for bodybuilding than traditional deadlifts, right?
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Hands down.
100%.
You like a big butt. Absolutely.
The only time I give somebody deadlifts is if they want to incorporate strength training and they're really attached to the deadlift and they want to put that up and they're not a bodybuilder. Otherwise, I don't program it.
Yeah. Or if somebody wants to is really short on time just because of
and they're just trying to get fit. Yeah,
exactly. Like a general fitness, I don't have a lot of time. What can I do?
Yeah, it's a very functional movement. Like it's great for somebody who really needs to learn how to control their body.
I mean, we pick up heavy stuff, like in life, when I'm a granddad, hopefully not anytime soon, but if I ever get to be a granddad, I want to be able to pick those babies.
Yeah, you got to know how to organize your body against resistance, and that most people walking around just have no idea how to do that.
Yeah. I still program for, some people that are obese, just like you say, to get a good bang for your buck for a movement. But also, kind of teaching people intensity. Like I might put a young kid who I just knows needs a kick in the butt, and we'll say, we'll deadlift for a day. We'll show you how to do it and show you what intensity is all about, and then translate that to other movements down the road. So there's still use for it, but it's an injury-prone, low hypertrophy movement in my book.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to go to a gym where a lot of the young kids are still deadlifting and squatting and probably more than they need to, heavier than they need to, and wrong. So most of the time I'm actually trying to pull them away from that a little bit.
I think you got to go through that phase though. Like when you're young, just get strong, do all the crazy while your joints and connective tissue are still resilient. Just fucking
in a smart way though.
Yeah,
but you're always gonna do when you're young. You're gonna do the bonehead thing. You're gonna do it because you're bonehead.
I remember I've kept every logbook I've ever had, and I was looking back through some of my logbooks from when I was in my early 20s, and using the 60-pound dumbbells for bicep curls, and I'm like, I was 195 pounds. Like, what the fuck was I doing with the 60-pound dumbbells on a dumbbell curl?
Getting big.
Thinking back on it, I use the 35s now, and I've got 21-inch arms or 20-inch arms. I'm like, and I'm 270.
Well, then you probably thought, man, I'm using 60s. I'm gonna be so big so fast.
Yeah.
Well, I was like into this like whole like I had to progress everything. Like when I was like look at progressive. I think if you're a beginner lifter, progressive overload's a simple and easy way to train that works really well, just as long as it's in the constraints of good form. But I was super obsessed with beating my logbook. Like I had to get one more. It's that fuck you energy we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Gotta beat it.
And that's all you really understand when you're first starting is the progression of strength. That's really all. That's the only concept that you understand in your head. So you just lean into it.
It's such an easy metric to see and to log. Like as a beginner, it's like a. How do you?
And it's the one that's coming the fastest.
Yeah.
I'm a goal setter, and like I like being able to look and say like I did this last week and I did this week, And bodybuilding, especially when you progress to the advanced level, is a bit more nebulous, and that's really hard psychologically sometimes. I think that was like one of the hardest things for me as I came back in my 40s to get my head wrapped around is the not having like that it's nebulous, like that. I'm just, like Marv said earlier, I'm trying to get the most out of the least. That really fucked my head up.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm using half the weights in the logbook that I used to use. This isn't cool. That really was a blow to my ego, and I think a lot of guys just can't put their ego aside and do that. They just never make it to that point. But if you're going to get to the advanced level in bodybuilding, you really do have to learn how to, the kung fu, I like to call it, of bodybuilding, where you really have to learn how to maximize mechanical tension and actually make weights heavier than what they are. Anyway, and rant on that one. We have a paid question.
We do.
Coming up
from Carter Krankenstein. Maybe my favorite name of all time.
Again, he's a Commanders fan, so Carter and
Yes.
I are buds.
And I had your questions start initially, but we do appreciate the super chat. But I would have asked it anyway. My recent blood work is showing hematocrit at 52, serum iron at 269, transferritin 88, UIBC at 35, ferritin 47, TIBC at 304. Opinions: could the out of range values be from excessive iron intake?
That's just normal for being on gear.
Yeah, testosterone I think suppresses hepcidin, which basically controls that whole iron ferritin pathway. So his could possibly just be from eating. He looks pretty normal otherwise.
Yeah.
So
being on TRT plus whatever else.
I don't think it's iron overload. It's most likely hereditary. So something called hereditary hemochromatosis. It's usually like European descent. So I would get genetic testing. So that's most likely what it is. Education only, not direct medical advice or diagnosing. Just because of the different numbers, like the transferrin is way high, but the other stuff's low. So I would bet he probably has some European descent. It's rare in ethnic groups. I'm going from the top of my head, but I would for sure get genetic testing. And if not, then you've got to figure that out. But yeah, then in the meantime, lower vitamin C, lower red meat. But I would, if I had to bet, I would bet it's hereditary.
I've run into quite a few guys that have hemochromatosis, white dudes.
I was just about to say, I've been hearing a lot about people having hemochromatosis lately.
Well, now we know more about it, but the high transferrin and the normal, the low ferritin is not like your traditional hemochromatosis, because usually those are elevated if it's from iron overload. The fact that those are low, and then like I would wonder what his MCV is. He
should run a full CBC again as well as those jobs.
Yeah, but definitely probably genetic, which then you've got to make some changes, because you're just going to absorb iron like crazy. So no vitamin C, no red meat. And then steady state cardio will help. So there's something called sports anemia, where it's common in endurance athletes where, yes, their red blood, like an endurance athlete's red blood cell count could be like 30 to 40% higher than sedentary. But because their plasma also goes up, it stays there within range. So it's not like a technical term, but like sports anemia is kind of what a couple of people call it. So
and they also waste through a lot of those red blood cells at a higher rate too, right?
Oh yeah, like their bilirubin's going to be sky high because they're pounding on the like you think our blood works bad after prep, or like usually prep shouldn't be too bad because hopefully you're doing cardio, blah blah blah. But like you want to see really effed up blood work, do an ultra marathoners the day after a race. You're like, how you should be at the hospital right now.
Those are the guys that drop dead all the time.
No,
which is hard to say as a bodybuilder. That's just me throwing shade.
It's almost like your body shouldn't do that.
Yeah. So you should add lifting as an endurance person to combat that.
Okay.
No, long distance runners have the best survival rates of anything.
Oh, do they? See, I always thought ultramarathoners were like at this high risk or whatever. Okay.
Whereas like bodybuilding is like 200 out of every 500,000 or something.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Well, that also has a lot to do with body mass.
I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, those guys are generally okay.
Yeah, I always thought that for some reason
people usually
live a long time.
Yeah, for some reason I must have misread something, but like
there's a difference between
ultramarathoners tend to have that.
There's a difference between being a a runner and an ultra marathon runner.
Right.
That is an extreme.
No, I'm looking at just marathon runners, so I don't know. If
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the ultras who do 100 miles. They drop dead from heart attacks all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay,
It's a
so
big
see,
distinction. A
That's
big distinction.
see, Dr. Marv's on my side.
There's not that many people that do that yet.
Grant Constantus, he's of African American descent. So
I think it's just his diet.
I was
probably.
going to say, is it worth auditing having him audit his diet as well?
Are you
Just-
eating pounded steaks all day long? I mean, there are dudes that do that.
Would him being dehydrated when that blood test was taken
It'll make some difference. It's not as
Okay.
profound
Not
as
as-
you think.
not as much as people say? Okay.
No.
All right.
It'll change up your hematocrit and your HGB a little bit if you're quote overfilled or whatever. If you main thing is like just trying to get to your normal fluid level in the morning.
I hear bros talking about drinking 2 gallons of water in the morning to get the number down. I'm like, well, if you're doing that, you're making it falsely lower, but that's not what you're walking around at normally.
Just
Yeah.
weigh yourself when you go to bed. Weigh yourself when you wake up. How much water you probably lost.
Yeah, that's the simple math. Yeah, if you're down 2 pounds,
I like that.
you need probably a liter of water.
32 ounces of water.
Yeah,
I can
so
do
a
ounce to
liter.
pound conversions.
Yep. So it's 8 pounds of water in a gallon. You like that? I went and did liters quickly. All right, let's squeeze one more in, and
Okay.
then I'll run.
This is a really good one. This is from Suck Smoothie. Hey guys, quick question. With all factors equal, who would have a better off-season physique? Someone just doing steps, 10 or 12 to 13,000 daily, or someone doing 20 minutes of zone 2 cardio plus 8 to 10,000 steps a day?
Clearly, somebody doing 20 minutes of zone 2 cardio and 8.
I'm going with option C, the guy doing no cardio. That's me.
Well, the nice thing with the cardio being inserted is you can have some control over that time of intensity in kind of what you're doing with it. Steps vary. I mean, it's a great metric to keep track of, but they vary. 12,000 steps at your job might be different than 12,000 at my job. You know, landscaper in roofer versus an office job scenario. You know,
What if that day you were doing your steps and there was some elevation change versus flat?
sure.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't.
Steps for neat checking to make sure you're not crashing when you're like doing on a diet.
Yeah, and I don't think just steps alone, especially in the off season when you're trying to reap the benefits of improved cardiovascular health, are going to be enough to do that. You need to get your heart rate up.
Yeah. I want 150 minutes of cardio a week. Try to work on that, guys. That's what you want.
I mean, 20 minutes a day is not that hard.
It's nothing.
To be fair, but
Might
I've made it
be
into
might be a little much, you know, to be honest. Like if you were, let's say you average 10,000 steps and I could get you 3 or 4 days a week to give me 15 hard, high intensity, interval cardio minutes. I think that's going to cover your cardiovascular health, and we'll have some baseline of activity with the steps as well. And we can replicate that. We're not saying, well, these were weak 12,000 steps this week, they sucked.
I like to recommend the easiest option for cardio because that's what most people like.
But I
like
like keeping some in because this is a pivotal point to have cardiovascular health and lung capacity combined. Justin talks about it. He couldn't be more right that, like, even myself, I got some people. I have one kid that would remind us of one of the last questions. He was getting 24,000 steps a day at his job on average. And I was debating pulling out the 3 by 15 minutes of cardio, of HIIT cardio, but I couldn't see us getting any cardiovascular exercise any other way. So 45 minutes, I think you can make that do in a week's time and get some good benefit from it for sure.
like split into like 3 15-minute sessions, Dave. Is that what you have in mind? Yeah.
Yeah. Just
And then get your
moving
HIIT cardio just to get that heart pumping hard and getting what it needs.
Yeah, and then we'll just kind of skip, be strategic. Skip them, don't do them on leg days.
Right.
Maybe if you can do them on your lower days and you want to
Do them on leg days. Build your recovery up.
Yeah.
That's how you vanish legs. That's how you make legs vanish.
And clarifying his question a little bit, he does say, with all factors equal, who would have a better off-season physique, not who would have a better off-season.
Well, if
right?
all factors were equal, nothing would be different.
Oh,
argue.
that's true. That's a
Right.
good point. Off-season physique, not off-season results at the end. Good
This is the
point.
first off-season where I did fasted cardio almost every day, and it's also the first off-season that I've put on almost no body fat while adding 22 pounds of weight. So
Funny how that works.
yeah,
Mhm.
You mean annoying, right? It's annoying how that works.
One thing I don't think a lot of people think about is resistance training will dilute the number of mitochondria in muscle. And what can combat that is one session of HIIT cardio a week. Like, it's not fun. Like, people say they did 30 minutes of HIIT. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, true HIIT,
Yeah.
you're like
5 or
spit
6
flying,
minutes.
grunting, groaning.
Yeah.
Like, I'll start people at 4 cycles, but don't let your wind hold you back in the gym on an off season. So that'll help your physique. But like, resistance training will dilute the number of mitochondria, and HIIT cardio combats that, especially in the legs. So not only is it good for your heart, for blood pressure, for performance, for your wind recovering, so you can train hard and not get low back pumps or get winded tying your shoes, because that's a great look. It's also going to have massive performance benefits to combat some of that.
What? Are you saying that we should do cardio?
Oh, I hate cardio. Like, good God, it's on my to-do list and I haven't done it yet for a
Cardio's
reason.
awesome. I love
Oh my
cardio.
God. I looked at my step count for my last 30 days outside of when I was in New Orleans. When I was in New Orleans, it was 18,000 a day. And then I looked at like my average outside of that, 3,500. That's really bad. Like really bad. Really, 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 really bad. And I'm fairly lean. That's the crazy part.
that's one of the reasons why I do the fasted cardio is because I spend most of my day either behind a steering wheel or behind a computer otherwise.
Same.
I'm right here. This is where I'm at all day.
Same. That's why I do the my steps are like usually the 3 long walks or one big long walk, because if we don't, we're behind a computer desk.
I still have a paycheck job part time, so I can easily get 12,000 steps a day without trying.
Yeah, you did a good job for steps. Mine is biceps are carrying.
Well,
too.
and you're probably at loading and unloading people's plates all day long. So there's that.
That too.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, that's true.
That's awesome.
It's not awesome.
I like it. I'm stupid. What I like to do is use a bunch of stuff. I go and like whatever they left, I'm going to curl that or press it, and then I'll put it up.
Yeah, I mean, that the only time I'm okay with some dude leaving 2 plates on the hip thrust machine is when I'm about to use it, because that's going to be my warm up. So
Well, my gym, they give you one warning, and second time you leave plates on, they revoke your membership. You're out.
I wish my gym would get more on board with that. My bosses
Same.
are a little nicer than they should.
They don't
for sure.
fuck around, man.
Or
I've seen
charge
him-
per pound.
Oh, I like that too. Charge per
Mhm.
pound.
You'll leave
Yeah,
the
There's a
leg
lot
of
press
gyms that
loaded
do
up
that.
once. You will leave the leg press loaded just once.
There's a lot of gyms that do that, and they
Oh,
they
not me. I
word it
leave it loaded
perfectly. They'll
every
put
single
up-
time. Just pay that money. I'm like, thank you very much. That's I don't have to
Yeah, I
carry.
think he was fining people for racking weights the first time they fine you, and then second time you get your my gym fines you $1 per pound. That's great.
There you go, man.
There's a
That's
few
what I love.
gyms that do
Baby.
that, and I mean, they put up the signs. They're like, because we have a certain community in here. We respect our space. We respect each other. So if you do not re-rack your weights 2 times, we're going to assume you're okay with this charge on your account.
See,
I was,
my technique is if you don't re-rack your weights, I'll unrack them for you and just start hurling them at you, and that seems to work pretty good.
What was the story about West Side Barbell that Louis Simmons had 225 welded onto all the bars, and if you couldn't do 225, you weren't allowed in there.
That's fuck
That's
off
a-
energy.
That's an approach.
That is definitely fuck you energy.
Yeah.
And on that note, folks, I'm going to end this one. We appreciate each and every one of you.